Hello, welcome to Live Coding with Gerph. We are on the second session of coding some text rendering code for our window manager, which should be all relatively easy because it's not very complicated to plot some fonts, get some things on the screen. So we've got a set of standard system calls that we've got to implement, and we've got some some sources that we've already written. We're using a library that I created a while back that just abstracts parts of the graphics interface to make it a little easier to use. And the idea for that is that it can be done slightly differently if we wish to in the future. Hello to everybody who's here. Yeah, so that's our current plan, goals, things we're working on at the moment. I'm expecting that we should be able to get quite a bit. I'm hoping we'll get quite a bit done today. We'll see how we get on. So let's have a look at what we've got at the moment. So what did you just do? Come on. What thank you very much. Swap that. No, come back. Click. Move. That was not very nice. You just decided to move monitors. Good start to the day. Right. Okay, so Wimp text render. This is the repository we're working in. Excuse me. Yeah, this is the repository we're working in, and somewhere in here. I don't have one open. That's odd. This is the status page, so I want to go to the wiki and then go to phase 2. I think it's in phase 2, this. And then look for Wimp text render. There we go. So yeah, we've got 50% done at the moment of the functionality. None of the SWI's implemented because we're doing it all in user mode right now. And this is what we've got done. So we've got rendering, got some sizing done, got colouring. We don't have the symbols font. We do handle Wimp font star, and we do handle system fonts. So let's see if we can just demonstrate this. Fingers crossed I can remember how to do this. So if we have a look in here, we'll just build it to begin with. Viscos Amu. Yeah, there we go. Build that. Give it a moment to wake up. Oh, it's already built. That's okay then. Actually, let's clean it and then build it. That would probably be a good idea, wouldn't it? Clean and build. Okay. It's built. So now, I've got a new plugin installed that's going to try, I'm hoping, to show what keys I'm pressing. Oh, it's still a little bit too far right. Let me just move it a little bit. There we go, that's better. Right, so if I'm doing things, you're about to see what I'm doing, which is, well, I don't know if that's useful, but I've seen it on other people's videos and it looks quite useful at times. So we'll see whether it helps. So pyrodev, what did we do? So I want to do WX, because I want it in a window. And I want to run, oh, do we just want to go into GOS? We just probably want to go into GOS, don't we? Here we go, come on. Thank you very much, there we go. Right, so now we've got a window we can see. So if we have a look in AF32, we can see there's the text render tool. So Wimp text render. This is without configuration. Not star dots, no. Oh, this is not. I forgot to load this, the C library and things. Common. Common just loads up all the extra modules that you would normally have on startup. So you've not got a bare system. Right. Wimp text render. There we go. So we can see hello world because it's printed out the font. It's using Homerton medium at 192 by 192. So we just do show Wimp star. There we go. Set Wimp $font to be Trinity dot medium dot italic. All right. Now try that same test again. Oh, and everything's over the top of one another. Okay. Let's put ourselves in a different mode. Mode 28. There we go. I'll just. Right, there we go. Trinity Medium Metallic has come out in Trinity Medium Metallic, and it's come out in a purpley red colour. Apparently, that's more what the colours were meant to be. Apparently, and that's at 192 by 192. So what was the other ones? The font size. Ah, yeah, 192. So we could actually do set Wimp $font size 260. Should make it a bit bigger. Oh, of course, I'll print it over the top. I think that was bigger though. Yeah, that was bigger. That's good. Okay, so that bit is working. And if we select a font that doesn't exist, select a font that doesn't exist, that one there. Bippity boo. That looks right to me. That came out in system font. Ah, no, it's not right. So it's only half height. And the reason it's only half height is because we haven't configured the height of the text to render for system font. So Andrew's asked, is there an optical illusion or is the bottom of the text trimmed? It's not. It is a artifact of, let me just clear the screen and do one of the fonts again. So if we go to Trinity Medium Metallic, there we go, and then render that, and then I'll show you by making the window bigger. So there you go. What you should be able to see is there's a blue line along the bottom, meant to be blue, that's showing where the baseline is of the text, and that's why it's looking trimmed. If the blue line wasn't there, it would be coming out okay, I think. So that's what's going on with that bit. So hopefully that explains that. And the reason for the blue line is that in here, so if we have a look in our test code, we are drawing a line that is the width here, width, which we've gathered by calling text render string width. So we're showing both that the text is working and that the string width is doing its thing, or hopefully it is anyway. And the rectangle is just a rectangle because, yeah. Yeah, it's meant to be a pink, is that apparently? 255 red and then 136 136 for the green and blue. So that's what we've got right now. Not quite nice. I can resize the window and it actually resizes it. It's quite cute. It's almost like I built these features because I knew I'd need them at some point. Almost. Right, okay. So we've got a couple of things then. So we need to do height of system text. So we need to do something with that. What are you hourglassing for? Excuse me? I didn't do anything. I closed a window. That's all I did. And now you decide to hourglass and not let me click on things. This one's working. This window's working. This window, not so much. In fact, it hasn't toggled back now that I've gone over here. Give me a second. I'm going to go and poke that. It's displaying now, but I'm still hourglassing. What's going on? Excuse me. Activity monitor. OBS Studio is using most of my CPU, which is understandable. And that's it. I've got Windows Server, yeah. I did was close the window. Is it like killed force quit? Yeah, apparently that was... Oh, I know what happened. It's an artifact of the readline implementation. So readline's using the host readline. So it was waiting for us to return back from the readline call. But of course that wasn't going to happen. So it still thought the window was on the screen. And I couldn't click on things because I was still over the logical window. Oh. Yeah, anyway. I'm not going to worry about it. It's an oddity of Pyro. Right, let's move on. So, size of text is one thing, and we can do something with that. Although I'm not sure, should I do that in the... It's possible we should do that in the graphics context, because that's really the place where it belongs. If you say render at a certain size, it should be using the certain size. Yeah, I think I'll come to that in a little bit, because moving on, although graphics context, this is the, go to the graphics context code. So graphics context is here, and I think I've got it linked. Here we are, this graphics context at the bottom here. So yeah, there's the VDU5 handling, which is VDU5 handling of fonts. And that handles things with yeah, we basically just we know the X size and Y size, but we're just going to ignore it largely, I think, in here. Look for the split characters, do the split characters, work out the sizes. Yeah, fair enough. Font paint. Oh, what's that? Ooh. 2717.76. I'm not sure. I reckon that's actually the right thing. If string size is 1, then write 1 character. Write the sequence and the character. That's kind of cute. Otherwise, write the sequence and then that. So that sequence is, yeah, the X size and the Y size. So does that mean I'm not setting the X size and the Y size right? It probably does. Although does this mean I should just scale them a little bit more? That means that my implementation is going to be a little bit weird. Oh, I don't want to do that. My concern is that I end up doing this sequence to change the font size based on the size of the font that we actually requested. But the font we requested is an actual font size, which isn't stretched upwards. Whereas if the default is to stretch it upwards, maybe the default should be to stretch it upwards. Maybe we'll just try that and see what happens. Stretch the Y size upwards, and because they are not currently coming out the same size when given the same size of fonts. So definitely, yeah, Y size should be doubled. Size times 2, so let's double that. Compared the system font to font manager fonts. Okay, I'll put that on a different line just to make it a bit tidier. Ooh, no, that was not right. Cut, paste. There we are. Okay. Okay. let's build that. Viscos Hamu export. Oh, I'm in my color type branch. Oh, I've got garbage code left behind there. Oh, because this is from when I was testing things. Fonts line 261. So one of the things that I've been doing, 261, here we are. One of the things that I've been doing is yes, yeah, there's Andrew says he remembers the system book coming out at half height. So most of the time when you're in the Wimp, it's at double height, and then when you boot the system, obviously it's in 1-to-1. So there's different things that are going on. Right, so where was I? Yes, I was trying to do this. So if I've done this right, that hasn't worked. Okay, so let me just turn this on. LSP, enable language server. So I've created a language server. So language servers, let's quick summary of those. Language servers are a creation by Microsoft because they thought, no, that should work. You were working earlier today. Come on. Viscos LSP. There it is, look, it's working. And you were definitely working earlier today, and then I rebooted you, and now you're not. I will demonstrate this. It's nice when it works. Toggle log panel. Okay, so enable language server. Viscos Wise. My log panel's coming out with nothing. No searching. All right, turn on no such file. Viscos LSP. Okay, well, we'll just reconfigure you. LSP. User local bin Viscos LSP. Thank you. All right, so we'll try it with that. Thank you. And now re-enable. And then log panel. Log panel showing me nothing. That's very odd. Comma. Not doing it. What is going on? Why are you no work? I'm confused. Everything was... No, that's not the button I wanted. Don't want the config. Control backtick. Right. LSP. Disable. Nothing happening. LSP enable. Viscos Wise. It's wonderful when you do a demo and things are not working at all. And the log panel showing me nothing. Disable. Let's just disable the LSP package and then we'll re-enable it and see if it does the right thing. Because it was all working earlier and everything was like happy and stuff. And now we're getting oddities. I've demonstrated this in both Sublime and in Visual Studio, so it should be just fine. Need to buy myself a new license as well. Need license upgrade required there. Bum, bum, bum. So unfortunately, what's going on is that it's trying to disable it and unhook it from every single window and tab that I've got open, and I've got a lot of windows and tabs open. I probably should close a lot down, but I haven't got around to it. It's also possible that I should actually have a separate environment user or something to do my presentations in, so that I wasn't actually getting myself tied up in this sort of thing. That's very sad. It's not doing that. Maybe I'll leave this part of my demo and just move on. It's really not great when you do a demo and things don't work. Anyway, I will quickly talk about what LSPs are, and then at least we'll have some understanding of it. So the idea was Microsoft created Visual Studio Code as a new application. So you may remember Visual Studio from years ago. But when they created that, one of the things that they had obviously recognized was that everybody was writing their own context coloring and recommendations, completions, and float overs, and all the other things that the IDEs are doing. They're always having to write them, and new languages and new file formats are coming out all the time. And if they're all coming out at the same time and everybody's doing lots of different things, basically they don't want to be supporting these things all the time. And basically that's what every single editor has had to do. They've had to add their own support for things. So if instead you had a plugin interface that you could use for context coloring, for completions, for all the other bits and pieces that are done in the editor, then it would be a whole lot easier for everybody to work, because Microsoft could just get on with designing the editor and making sure the editor worked, and language authors and tool managers and everything could actually go and create the necessary plugins for it that would work. And that's cool. Better still, if you make the plugin something that basically anybody could write without having to know about Visual Studio Code or any other editor, so it wasn't even tied to the editor itself, then that was even better. So they created a protocol called Language Server Protocol, which lets you basically say, here's the code that's being edited, here's where the cursor is, here's the workspace that's being worked on. The user has just done this. They want this completion. They want this text to be inserted. They want these things to change. They've deleted things. And then the language server can respond and go, right, change the colors of this, do this here. Oh, you can now display this extra hover and things. That's basically what language server does. So it basically abstracts the whole managing the format of the text to be somebody else's problem. Right, now let's enable the package again. Hopefully this won't take quite as long. Okay, you doing it? I think it's doing it. I hope it's doing it. No, LSP. No, that's not doing it. Oh, there it goes. It might be doing it now. Right, so yeah, they abstracted this. This is the language server protocol, and so there's a lot of different ways that you can extend things. You can create things that happen when you hover over text. You can create things that when you type a particular key, it goes and suggests to you this is the next thing you might want to type. I know we've all been annoyed by that, but sometimes that's useful. It can also do particular things like refactor code. So you can have a refactor this variable into a function or something. So it goes, well, this function, this section into a function. Things like that can all be done, which is really quite cute. And because it's all done through plugins, Visual Studio Code can use it. The Atom editor can use it. Sublime Text, which I use, can use it. You can use it in Vim if you really want to. All the other editors, I've way more editors than I really care about, but IntelliJ, Sea Lion, all the other things that go on. What's the PyCharm? That's the one that's the Python one. So they can all use these different editors, these different servers. So I created RISC-OS-Y language server, which if we go and look at that, it's not found it yet. Oh, that's a pity. Well, we'll just go and type it in directly, github.com/Gerph/RISC. That's not what I wanted. So my language server. Dave says he's been trying out Sea Lion. I need to try out Sea Lion and see how that works. But the language server I created here I've got some instructions of how to set it up with Sublime. I've got some instructions to set it up with VS Code, and I've got noted down what it'll recognize. So it'll recognize if you enter Swix, what the parameters are, and it can give you a float over help for those. It can do the same for basic SWI statements and for assembler ones as well. It can only help with certain things though, because, well, not everything's easy. So yeah, that's the sort of thing it does. And this looks things up using either the RISC-OS PRMs that are online, or it uses its own built-in library of calls, depending on what you've actually got configured. And I'm still working on this. I published this a couple of days ago, and I've been working on it for about 3 or 4 weeks now, just basically as just before I fall asleep. And so it's been like, oh, one small change every night and things, and that's been pretty much it. Still hourglassing. Are we hourglassing? Yeah, we're hourglassing. So just have to wait for that to recover. Oh no, we are back. We are back, I think. Maybe. Come on, can I have a cursor, please? Thank you very much. Right, let's have a see if this is going to work. Control space. Nope, didn't do it. Okay. Enable language server. Yeah, not going to play ball, are you? All right, we'll give up on that. There's clearly something odd going on, and I have rebooted and done a bunch of things, so maybe it's just become broken. Let's move on from that. What was I trying to do though? Oh yes, I was trying to rebuild it with this small change that goes and gives me the yeah, stop that. Stop. Thank you very much. That gives me the new RISC-OS ammo. Yeah, there we go, and then do an export. And then we can come over here. Thank you, exported. And then we'll try this and we'll see whether, with it built this way around, it actually gives me the system font text the right height. Okay, put that up there. Make it a bit bigger. Right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to first run it with the font. So there we go, that's with the font. And then we're going to do set Wimp $font to be boo 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 boo. And then that should render it. Well, it's the right height, but it's in the wrong place. It's too high. So I think, although I've resized the actual rendering, I haven't changed the size of the font that it's going to draw. So what we'll do is we'll just exit that, and we'll go and make the changes to the code in VDU5 again. So what do we do here? Y size equals Y size times 2. Oh, I wonder if that's because when we get the string bounds, we don't put it in the right place. No, that's not right either. Times 28. Oh. confused now because we've doubled the size of it, so it knows the size is going to be bigger. And this is the position it wants to plot it at. Over 32, which is Andrew mentioned eigenfactors. I'm not taking account of the eigenfactors here. Should I be? I probably shouldn't be, because this is in OS units, not pixels, so we don't need to worry about the eigenfactors. But when we do the string size, I think get string size is wrong. I think I need to do that there as well. I think that's what's needed. Right, make export. I will be interested to hear, not Andrew, Dave, what your experience of C-Line is like for general use, because I've not really used it, so it'd be interesting to hear how that has gone on, if it's useful anyway. Right, let's try this. So now we should be consistent because we're calling it in the same places. Right, nope, that's not what I wanted. Resize the window. Maybe make that an option. Do a text render. Okay, now change the font to be garbage. Oh, I can't see it. So that's still too high, isn't it? We'll put Homerton on there. Yeah, that's still rendering too high. That hasn't made any difference whatsoever to it. So clearly that wasn't the thing to do. Or at least wasn't working. Get M size. Maybe I should just double it in here. Oh, I should probably just double it in there. That would probably be all I need, isn't it? So if I just delete those. And double it in the configuration when we find fonts, that probably would do the job, won't it? Y size equals Y size times 2, so that'll make it 16 pixels high. Yeah, okay, let's try that one then and see if that does it. So that made it consistent across the all the code there. Now go over here, build, and render. Right. Nice Homerton font there. Now change it to Boo Boo and then try again. And it's still too blooming high. I may have to actually understand the code rather than just hacking randomly. That's no good, is it? Yeah, that's stupid. Okay, so let's have a see what we've got here. because clearly I've made this library was meant to be already set up to do this stuff. So clearly I screwed up. So Dave says, C-Line similar to VS Code, same code base, Electron, but handy C refactoring tools in it. Good for mass renames, good CMake integration, but it's sluggish. Seems surprised sometimes when I type something. Find myself flicking back to Vim. I have honestly found that with the LSPs enabled, everything has been a lot slower in Sublime as well. So maybe it's part of the back end part of that. But also, I mean, isn't it Electron that's all the browser-based stuff? So everything is like a browser. Yeah, Andrew, I think that's what I'm going to have to do, to put some debug strings into this to see what's going on. So what we got here is, let's remember, so when you plot text as a font, the X and Y position you're given are the left baseline, okay? When you plot text in the system font, it's the top left corner. So what we're trying to do here is to place it Y size, which is the height of the text. So let's try this. Okay, print out the size of the text. So yeah, we've got dprintf in this. We have turn debug on. So that's got the same correction, 28 times 32. Divided by 32, sorry. Oh, yeah, I don't want to be doing a break just yet. Disable that for 2 hours, please. Thank you. So, right. Oh, indentation on this is all very weird. I probably need to realign it. Andrew suggested maybe it's the system font that's in the wrong place. That is a... Hang on, let me go back to the main code, because this is where we drew the line. Where did we draw the line? Main. So we said draw from 64,800 to 64 plus width by 800. Which is where we said the text should be. So that's where the baseline should be, is at 64,800. So let's have a see. So baseline should be X, Y. Oh, remember how to write code. No, I'm not in Python. Too many languages. Baseline is XY. And font size is X size, Y size. Okay. And the top left is going to be X, Y plus Y size times 28 divided by 32. It's not, can't be precedence, no, that can't be it, because that's not the same thing. Okay. All right, let's see if that works. Let's see what we get out of that. Make export. Maybe we should have some tests in G context to make sure it's coming out in the right places. That'd be handy. There we go. Alright, so AF dot text render, yeah, and then set the font, and then do it again. Alright, where's my debug? Excuse me, where is my debug? I thought I turned my debug on. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe I've got a different library here. Right, what we got? So define debug, yes. Debug 104 printf. Yeah, that's fair enough. Video file font. Paint is that. So what should happen is that this will fail and it should fall back to the standard VU5 plotting. Find font. Lose font, yeah. How does it actually do this? So what we got in here? We got, if no fonts, then we go to that. If we do, then we go to this font. Font, find font. So font, find font, and then it goes to all these calls. Is that, oh, look at this. Yeah, this doesn't actually call into VU5 functions. If the font is, oh dear. Okay, so that's what's going wrong. It isn't actually using the code that I'm calling. I did clean and rebuild it, yes. It's just that the code that's being used is not the code I was changing. It's using this code instead, which is frustrating. Because it now means that I've got. See, this is an effect of the new version that I've got, which now gives me searching for definitions and things. I don't like these pop-ups turning up all the time. I think they're very frustrating sometimes, but that's life, I guess. Right, okay, so what I need to do is, if we couldn't find the font, then we return font none. Doop, doop, doop. I think we should have a more intelligent way of doing this, because sometimes you want to fall back and sometimes you don't. So like, brain is working through this. It's possible I should have a dispatcher that goes, if we use fonts we go one way, if we use VU5 we go another way, but if we have select both we go a third way, which is even more complicated. Yeah, we do it that way. All right, that's two. If we should use fonts but fall back if unavailable. Yeah, this should probably be an enum, but we'll 0. No fonts. One. If available, fall back to system fonts. So we're probably going to want a whole bunch of different functions in here, aren't we? So font, fallback will do. Oh. Da-da-da. So we just need to define some functions for that, which should be quite easy. Yeah, that sounds reasonable to me. Okay, so now I need to define something for that. Do I put it in here? Yeah, I think I'll put it in here because it seems like it's going to be quite simple. Yeah, okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to copy the whole thing. Yeah, whole thing, and then put a new version of that at the end. I've lost it. There's the beginning of it. Okay, fine. And this is struct font fallback. Font fallback. Oh, it's not a type def, sorry, it's just a font. So it's got inside it all the same things that were in this one. Font. I'm going to be deleting most of this anyway, thankfully. But also fonts, an int 32, which is the VU5 font. Okay. All of these, that's there, replace inside selection, case sensitively, font underscore with font fallback underscore. Okay. And actually let's start deleting the code because we don't actually need the implementations of these. Oh, hang on, do we? Yeah, that's fine. Delete all that. Oops. I'll do this with cursor, I think, because it's a lot of this. Don't need that. Don't need this. This might not be the right way of doing it, but it means that we can, that what we're doing inside the Wimp text renderer will be much easier. Okay, so there we go. What we do here is we call into font find font, That's not very nice, is it? No, I don't want to just do that. I want the same code that is in font, find font, but with a slight change. Sorry, lots of jumping around in here. Because I want to allocate it as the size of a, not a font T, but a font fallback T. And if we fail, we do something different. So that's actually, if we fail there, we fail for good. But if we fail here, we go to our fallback. Okay, and for the fallback we do font to handle equals 0, because we know that 0 is not a valid handle, and we do font to du5 font equals du5 find font, oops, gc font name x size, y size, like that. And then we return our font. And we can do if font. Actually, can you be passed null for these? We can, can't we? Yeah, we can be passed null. Can any of them be passed null? No, only that. No, we do have a fallback for calling null on these things, which is, I think, what was being kicked in when we were doing the other bits. This is very, very unnice, I think, but I'm not going to worry. Font is null, then do that. If font to handle, if the handle is set, is a font handle allowed to be 0? I don't think it is it? Fire up this RPCMU and have a look. I don't think it's allowed to be 0. Come on, can I pick you up? Thank you very much. Font cat, font list, isn't it? Sorry. Yeah, handle 1. So yeah, we're not allowed to have handle 0. That's okay. Yes, exit please. If handle, then return, then font, lose font. Video 5, lose font. Which actually will probably be just do nothing, but that's not a problem. Let's have some indentation here. And a very similar thing. If font to handle is 0. Now, if we've got a font handle, so do the font case first, then call font paint gc font to xy bg fg len else. Yes. Okay, so what do people think to the funky letters popping up when I type stuff? Worth it? Not? What do you reckon? I think it definitely works well for certain things, but I'm not sure about others. Oh no, I don't know. I'm just watching it as I'm typing, and that's actually not too bad. Get, we don't have anything but the font there. Yeah, this is where things like C++ would help, because I'd be able to just make it a class that could just dispatch these things. It would be a lot easier, but yeah, it doesn't matter. Get string size. Oh, string size. I can't type either. X limit len split char. Do a bit of indentation there. I should probably run this through indent at some point and just get it all tidied up, but I haven't, so no matter. Try this a different way. Paint attrib GC font X0 Y0 X1 Y1 string size BG FG trib. I tend to barely notice it. Okay, well, I mean, I can make it bigger, I can make it last longer as well. It's all quite configurable. Let me just tweak that a little bit. Might not be any better, but it's a little bigger now. Ooh, that's actually kind of cool. Ooh, it's lasting quite a while now. Where's paint gone? Oh, there's paint. All right, cool. All right, so that looks like it's got a bunch of bits in it. Copy all that, and then we put it into font.h. I will also accept anybody who wishes to rethink how this works and decide that there's a better way of doing it, because it is quite possible. Oh, I've got a colon rather than semicolon. It's quite possible that just doing it this way is just a bad idea. And there's a much more sane way of handling it. And this one as well. Okay, so we've got all those now defined. So I just need to define what font fallback is. Which excuse me. Maybe that's not going to work. Maybe I just need to. Oh, yeah, that looks like I need to. These need to be actually font rather than fonties because of the prototype of calling of these functions. So I probably need to do like a cast inside the routines to make that work. Oh, I'm not happy with this particularly. I'm sorry. It's also taken me a bit longer to write, obviously. So all of these have got to be changed from being fonts. Font F equals that, and then that wants to be just a font, doesn't it? And that also needs to be font F there. Oh, I just recognised there's a bunch of other mistakes in this as well. should be something different. Font fallback should be font there. When you're having to edit lots of bits like this, you really think, oh, have I really done the right thing here? Probably not. Yeah, that's right. It's the other one I wanted to change. The one I was just by this one here. So I wanted to add a type def to this. Oh, in fact, I didn't even define it properly anyway. Type def struct font fallback _s to be font fallback t. Almost certainly not going to be good. Let's have a go back to here. Export. Yeah, I missed something in the header file. At line 105. Yeah, I missed that one. And then a bunch of type. Okay, fine, not going to worry about that. Undeclared name, inventing font. Huh. Oh, because it's called fonts. There we go. Oh, and also if you don't specify something, you get no fonts. Okay, let's see if we can actually do the build process and see if it builds properly in here. Nah, it's getting it's not finding some of the headers and things, so something's a bit wrong. I'll not use that. I need to work out what is going wrong with it. Serious error. Legal types for unary star. 424. Oh, because that should also be a star in there to match the other one. I don't like doing that normally, but apparently this is what I've done here. Implicit cast of pointer to non-equal pointer at 442. Now we'll just cast it to a font then. And 447. Oh, both of those, sorry. Oh, we haven't included the VDU5 code, so let's just include that. Include VDU5. Okay, and rebuild. Implicit cast of pointer to int 447. Oh, because VDU5 font is a font. Maybe I shouldn't put this in the same file. Maybe I should have a separate file for it. And I wouldn't be searching through to find the bits where I need to change things. Yeah, because that needs to be a font T and opaque type. Oh, there's no return in that function because we populate a buffer. Yeah, we populate the string bounds buffer there. So Andrew says, can the keyboard stuff appear over the code map down the right hand side? Probably. Let me just see, pick it up. Put it up here. I could put it up the top. Actually, put it up there. Is that better? How's that? See whether that does a good job. So I'm learning these things. It was the person that I saw that was doing it actually had it. So I do Control F. Actually had it about here in a much bigger type with opacity on, and I thought that was very cool, but it was highly distracting at times. So I decided not to do that. So hopefully this will show something. Right, we've got an export now. Let's have a see if we can actually get something that works. Works for me, says Andrew. Excellent. Okay. Render with a font. Render without a font. Still coming up in the wrong blooming place. Oh, because I haven't told it to use the new thing, have I? In main up here, it said, I'll make that an enum. Not right now, but I will make it an enum. Duplicated type def color T. Oh, that shouldn't have started up. Oh, because in the branch I'm using, color T is now a thing. So let's have a look at color T in H dot. Sorry, wrong side. This one here. Color T. Yeah, this should move into G context. It has moved into G context now. No, that's not what I wanted. I want this one and only run that if it's valid. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Oh dear. Font size 15 by 236. No, that's not. No, what's gone wrong here? I know what's gone wrong here. Yeah, let's just. In the font fallback code, when we call the VDU5 side, we need to actually use the VDU5 font for that all the time. And that needs to happen in all of the calls here. So let's go from the top. Lose font needs to lose that one. That one. That one. Already got it there. Oh no, that's the font one. This one here. Okay. Oh, rebuild G context. Has no. What did I call it then? VDU5. What did I call it? VDU5 font. There. There it is. Oh, because that's in the font fallback structure. Copy, replace font to VDU5 font, comma, replace with font F to VDU5 font, comma. Okay. Rebuild. I missed one, 519. Oh, because I didn't have a comma on the end of it. Okay, there we go. Right, export it. Build it. All of this just to try and show that the thing that we were doing last week was wrong. It's no big deal, I suppose. Come on, up you come. Thank you very much. Text render, and now with the other font. It's now too big. Is it possible that I didn't need to do that doubling anyway? Let's just take out that doubling and see if everything works fine. That would be amusing, wouldn't it? In a, oh my gosh, how stupid is that sort of way. Inventing Swix. Oh, that's probably because CPP check doesn't actually understand where swise is. Yeah, that's fair enough. Probably need to do something about that, but not a big deal. Yeah, sorry, I didn't build the G context, did I? Get away. Rebuild. Okay. Now do we work? Probably not. I can't see it now because it's in the way. Echo 12. Okay. Move us below that. Okay. Homerton. Draw Homerton medium. Yeah. Now do it with Boo Boo. Now it's too low, it's appearing in the wrong place. It's also coming out too wide. Should all the fallback font calls for non-system font use the fallback font structure? They probably should. So Andrew said, should they use the font? If they did, then I'd have to cast them every time because then they're expecting a font T, not a font fallback T. I'll leave it for now. It would be more correct, but I'm going to leave it. The font's coming out too big. And I think it's because this should actually be scaled by the eigenfactors. Does anybody remember how VDU, whatever this call is meant to work? 17. VDU 1776 Riscos. VDU codes. Oh, so it's 23. Yeah, that doesn't help me. That does not help me in the slightest. Sorry, we've just lost our display. Give me a moment and I will restore the display. Come on, are you going to load up? Properties. Oh, there we go, it's popped up a window. That is the one we want. No, that's the wrong window. No, that's not the right. That's the activity monitor window. I want... Yeah, it's not there. Ah, there it is. There's my window turned up. So now I can go and select it. Window. Cancel. Discard changes. Properties. Oh, there we are. All right. Fine. It's good enough. We can see it anyway. That's all that matters. I'll make this window a bit bigger though. How's that? Just shrink it a smidge. I think we can avoid that. Oh, blooming curved corners everywhere on this thing. It's awful. Anyway, that probably doesn't help me. What we're looking for is video 23 thinking, comma 17. Comma 7? 7 is the one we want. That's the one we need. Right. Size in pixels. So there we go. That's what's going wrong. I'm giving it the size in OS units, not in pixels. So that's what's going wrong. Okay, so let us quickly go and twiddle this. All we need to do is just go X size, shifted right. Xig, Y size, convert to pixels from OS units. Right. Alan did an excellent job on the PRMs, converting them to PRM in XML. And on the long list of things to do is to finish off that work and make sure that things are right. And I think he's waiting on me to review some things for the last year and a half, 2 years maybe. So that's on me to try and get that sorted. But also, I noticed a few days ago that if you go to Miscos something or other, why have I not got that in my history? If you go to these pages here, if you do it through HTTP, it's fine. If you go to it through HTTPS, you get an error because it has the wrong certificate on it. And you have a look at the advanced settings, it's actually restored, says it's for that. I have no idea what they've done there, but that is wrong and shouldn't be encouraging people to go to a site that's broken. So there are two things we can do there. One is we can make sure that there is a site that has this documentation on, which I don't think there's a problem with, because I think we've got permission to do stuff with these, pretty much. I will look to Andrew later to check on that, because the PRM CD is essentially available for people to reproduce, and Dave has already done the fixes for the things that went wrong that I screwed up, so we could do that. And there's Alan's work that actually converted to PRM XML, which we could also publish, and that would be probably trivial to do. I say trivial, it's probably a couple of days worth of work and I just need to get around to doing it. Yeah, that's where we are with that anyway. Yeah, sorry, what was I doing? I was looking at the eigenfactors were wrong on that. Sorry, the scaling was wrong, so we just need to fix that and then we can go and build it. We'd need to fix up the copyright notices and the PRM. Yes, because Alan left those intentionally so that it was clear that we hadn't decided on them. Yes, we need to do that. Yeah, we need to find out what the right text should be, which I think is not hard to do. That just means talking about them and making sure we've got the right people saying what the text should be. Right. Okay, so we've made some fixes on this. Has it actually done any good? So it won't have changed that. Has it changed? Oh, I need to move my cursor a bit lower. This. Now it's way too small. What the heck? I actually remember my VU codes. This is good. Yeah, that's too small. What should it be? I think it should be twice that size. I think, oh, I don't know. Oh, I don't know. Hang on. Hang on, I've solved this problem. I have solved this problem. Ooh, that's an interesting one. Let's put it in a... When it does that, it's scaled it oddly. Let's do that. Yeah, don't know what that was. Oh, it spotted that it was too close to the edge of the screen, so it did it vertically. That's what it did. Okay, yeah. Yes, I've solved this because I've already got an implementation in Pyro. And since I've got an implementation in Pyro, let's have a look at it. Pyromaniac / Riscos / it'll be somewhere in the Wimp text rendering section, which is probably in core modules. Core. No, not modules. Py modules. Core. Wimp directory all the way over there. Text stop. So here we go. Let's make it a bit bigger so we can read it. Size and width, registering variable. This is getting the sizing. VDU5 size should be get VDU. That's just reading the VDU size. Sorry. We have a set VDU size. VDU5 size. Let's have a look at that. Huh. Maybe it's not set in this code. Maybe it's set somewhere else. I definitely would have done it somewhere in here. In fact, let's just do a grep for it. VU5 size. Let's have a see if there's any uses of that. Well, the only place is there. All right, let's try gchar space. Nope. Let's try looking for code 23. Ooh, in Wimp graphics. Ooh, there's an abstraction of the graphics system. That's a sensible idea. Oh, Ah, right, yes, null graphics. Interesting. I'd completely forgotten how I did this. Here's the redefinitions of the characters that we need to use. That's 23 symbols. 2316. Setting the bounds for the clippings. Ooh, some of this looks like it could be useful for me to try and rethink and work on it. Text.paints. Calculate text size. Resolve sprites. Oh. Do we not actually use code 17 in here? We don't use code 17 in there. Oh, it's there in Wimp mode. Of course it will be in Wimp mode. Why would it be in the... I'm sure some of this made sense to me at the time. 17. Not that 17, this one here. Right. Char size X. What's char size X get mapped to? $1632. We don't do a conversion. We don't actually manage this in any way inside Pyro, other than to set it to the standard size, which is exactly what the original window manager did. Maybe we don't. Maybe we just... No, I want it to do the right thing, don't I? I want it to do the right thing. Okay. X size times we want it to be 16 units across. Yeah, I've been reminded that I've got a break due. I'm just going to try and get this to work. Divided by 12. This one, Y size, times 60. Why am I doing it in here? Yeah, I shouldn't be doing this in here. This should only be doing the conversion to units. The actual conversion to OS units, point size maps to regular characters 8. Should be 16. No, point size maps to 12, because we're using 12 points is the same as the regular font. And I want it twice as high. Just do it. Just do it. Just make the change. Likelihood of this working increasingly low. I'm becoming increasingly disillusioned with my own thoughts. Dum dum dum. Right. So do that. Set silly font. Move down below it and then do it again. Font size 816. Nope, wrong way around. 1632. What do you divide by 16 there? Oh, actually, Pyromaniac host, actually, even better, host ammo. Ammo not found. Enable. That's not working. Why are you not working? I don't know. Host commands. Don't know how to work the things myself. And then try it again. Now that's come up too high. 16 by 32. 16 by 32 is correct, isn't it? Isn't it? Okay, 22, 828. Now try and set it to Homerton. Is that too big or is that right? I don't know anymore. Because that's definitely come up double height, which is what we expect. Right, give me a window. Right, if I just position, so that's the right sort of text. So that appears about the right sort of size, isn't it? F12, set Wimp $font, boo boo. That's the correct size. That font text is correct, isn't it? Yes, it is. I am happy with that. Okay, so if that's correct, is the other one correct? Echo. Oh, I don't know what I just did then. Oh, I'm in the wrong window, that's why. Echo bracket 12. Oh, I've already done it. Yeah. And that's what happens when we've got the regular font. Set Wimp $font as Homerton. I think that's right. I think that looks okay. What do you reckon? People think that's all right? Because I think I've actually got it right now and got the right code happening. It was very painful to do though. Whether this means it's going to come out really weird when somebody else tries using this G context library, I'm not sure, but essentially, if you're using the video 5 side of things, it will now come out about the same size as a regular font, which is what you really wanted it to do. So I think that's good. I think we can say that is working, and I can move on. So in order to move on, let us diff this. Okay, so excuse me. Yeah, right, so add fallback handling for fonts, make video 5 font sensible. All right. Hopefully this makes sense and is not stupid. I'm not convinced in that, but yeah. Check out master. What will happen is next week will come along and I will look at my code and go, well, that was dumb, and rewrite it a different way. Not poll, merge. Use color type. Ink. New version of the library, not to. Push that. Oh, that's interesting. Pull that. What was on the branch that I didn't have here? Did I do something? A license file. Okay, that's fair enough. And then tag v0.02 and push that as well. If we pop over here to this, ooh, I'm not signed in. Why am I not signed in? Can I continue with the passkey? Apparently I can. Cool. So that's that done. So we pop over here, and now we can see that that's been done there. Okay. So over the 0.1 version. Video 5 text should come out the same size as the regular text, regular font text. Publish release, and then if we have a look in Wimp text render, what have we done in here? that's it. Literally just changed over to using the other model, that's all. So, oh hang on, did I just leave a whole bunch of debug in? I did! Oh no! That's very annoying, isn't it? Undef in there, but I think I left it all defed in video 5. That was very dumb. Tag, force the tag to be written, and then push it with a force as well. Delete this. Oh, hang on, don't delete it yet. Just copy the text I wrote for the comment, then delete it. Yep. And then just give it a moment, and it should build me a new one. Come on. There we go, new one. There we go, published. Right, so now in here we also want to tweak the CI so that we get version 2. There we go. Oh, wrong library. Text library I want to be. Okay, there we go. Push that. Oh, what? We still got... What did we do here? I bet any money that was just my license being added. Oh no, I fixed some things on the automation and created a license, alright. So yeah, now we can do the push rather. Alright. So it's not gone great this time, largely because of how I've been a little confused as to what the sizing was meant to be. And it was part of the library not doing what I was expecting it to do. Which is not terrible, but we can work on that. So we've now got back to the point where we thought we were previous week. But text should now be sized properly, which is good. We will now, what are we going to do now? We're going to take a break. We're going to take a break now. I'll get myself a drink and then we'll come back and we'll have a look at text transformation, translation. Yeah, translation. So we're going to handle Wimp symbol basically, which we're going to have to do separately anyway. So this will be fun. All right, have a good break for 10 minutes and hopefully we'll be able to do some more bits. Back in 10 minutes, about, actually we'll make it quarter an hour, call it 3 o'clock, 15:00, all right. Okay, time. All right, see you in a bit. Hello again. Oh, we're back. A little bit sniffly, but we're back. And I'm wondering if maybe I've done this wrong, because from what I remember, we also had in here the font selection that would decide which one to use. And here we use the system font. So get default font name. Otherwise we use the system font, and when we use the system font, it is the system font. How is it meant? So if it's a system font, we end up with the font name of empty string. So, because this matters. This matters for the case where we need to translate into Wimp symbols, which is frustrating. Right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to ignore the problem right now, and I might rework part of G-context to be able to handle it differently. Which is a little bit frustrating, but not terrible either. Yeah, I might do that. So let's sort of see what we're going to be doing with the symbols. So the reason that symbols are significant is that we've got a number of different ways of drawing them. So there are symbols for, what are they? There's the arrows pointing up, down, left, right, and they're used for both shift keys and similar, and also for the side for the scroll bars and the like. And we've also got a back icon and a resize icon and things like that. And I think we mentioned that those were previously in the Wimp graphics handling that I got in Pyromaniac. So if you look here, this is the character mappings that we've got here. No mapping for iconize. I think that's because it just ends up being a solid bar, but worry about that later. So yeah, there's that. So I think we're going to want to use those. What do we actually use those for? So char definitions. Yeah, we define the symbols there, and then that happens on mode change, if I remember rightly. Interesting. This is used for many of the different things. This is a very lazy implementation here. No, we say plot a symbol at a particular place. This is largely used for the what's it called? Window furniture. Oh, my brain's clearly not with it at the moment. So yeah, that's what that is. But the definition of these that we saw, we can actually pinch and shove into some code down here. I think that will do the job. Yeah. So for now, we just want to be able to actually get these characters replaced. which is not going to be too hard. When does it matter? So there are certain characters that it matters for, and there are others that don't. I should leave that turned on. Let's actually have this as a encoding transform, or just call it Wimp symbol. Actually, would be better, wouldn't it? Yeah, we'll call it Wimp symbol. So, nope, not a function. There we go. That's right. Yeah. Wimp symbol. Translations of text from regular strings to use Wimp symbol. So, what we want to be able to do is to have a string that we get back, symbol convert, and we want to convert a regular string into a Wimp symbol string. And there's two ways you can do it. There's one is you can, I was going to say there's two ways you can either do it through, actually yeah, brain. So there's translated it to fonts, where we use the Wimp symbol fonts, and then we can have UTF-8 handling, which could do it that way. For now, I think we'll just have a plain function that just does this, because I'm not going to spend a lot of time doing that, doing the work on this. So again, a lot of this work is intended to be, we'll get something working, and then we'll basically, once we've got something working, we can improve it. But until it's working, you can't do very much. It might be written badly, but at least we've got something there. All right. So, convert a string to one using Wimp symbols. Text points to the text string we are converting. Returns pointer to a new string or the same one that we can use in Font Manager. Right, so what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to have a stack of strings, a list of strings that could be used for this, because in theory we could have multiple strings being processed at once. If we consider in the future, maybe we have strings going to to one context and then strings going to another context. They're being processed by different threads, so we want to have different string allocators. Allocations that we can use. So what we'll do is we'll just have a very simple implementation that allows us to also Wimp symbol free a Wimp symbol string that was allocated by Wimp symbol convert. Okay, parameters are symbol string, converted text, returns none, and this is a void Wimp symbol free. But we're only going to have one. Static that way. I'm going to make it a structure. Type def symbol string s. And the reason I'm going to make it as a struct is because then I can allocate it as one block, and we can make it use multiple ones in the future if we need to. So symbol string t const char star string and the maximum length of that string and the length of it and the length of it. So we've always got, oh, should we just return it as a symbol string? Oh no, because then no, we'll return it just like that. Yeah, we'll return it like that. Okay, so first thing we can do here is just SS. No, I need to make it a bool for P, and for P equals text, P is less than, no, star P, so long as it is not a control character, P++. If P is greater than or equal to OX80 and P is less than or equal to OX9F, go to needs conversion. Needs conversion. Otherwise, return text. There was nothing needed for that string, so we could just return it directly. But if it does need some conversion, then we need to have a think about it. So if, by this point we know at least partially how long the string is. But we do need to find the actual end of it. So let's find the end of the string. The size we're going to need, interesting. So we're going to need to change font partway through these, and the size we're going to need is going to depend on the number of symbols that there are in there. So extra equals bytes per font change. I don't know how many that is. Can't remember. So let's have a look at, I think I'm going to have to find it in the font manual, I'm afraid. I do not remember the codes. So what I'm going to do is discuss PRM URL. Actually, no. Let's do it with this kind of. Oops, didn't mean minus font manager. That's not going to work. Should take me to the chapter. There we are. So, what we're looking for is the codes that are used for this. Here we are. Change font handle 26. Embedded control sequence, change the way that the font is painted, blah, 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 blah. Not compatible with VU sequences. Yeah, fair enough. Which is true. Okay. So this is also the reason why font handles are restricted to being 8 bits, because I believe when these are passed in, it's only 1 byte. It doesn't really tell me how to encode these, which is interesting. I'll follow that. Does it actually explain it in font paint? About box, transformation, matrix. Oh, there you go. That's the code there. Text direction, string length. Here we go. Other control codes similar to the VU sequences. Colors, comments, underline, font handle 26. So it's only 1 byte. Yeah, that's the one. And that's the bit that restricts us to being, it can only be 8 bits long, 255 font handles. So if that were to change in the future, we'd need to rethink how that particular code worked. And a whole bunch of other things as well, obviously, but that one in particular. And so the font table that's generated by load templates also uses that as well. So they're good examples of how that works. So bytes per font change is 2, extra equals 0. Actually, no, extra equals bytes per font change in Wimp symbol equals true. So we're both finding the end of the string and counting how many extra bytes we need. If it's a symbol, and if in Wimp symbol, or if we're not in Wimp symbol, then we need some extra bytes. Extra plus equals bytes per font change. And if it's not a Wimp symbol, but we are in Wimp symbol, extra plus equals bytes per, to change it back again. Yeah, this is fun, isn't it? So need equals p minus text, that's the length of the string, plus 1 for a terminator, plus extra. If, what's it called? Symbol string ss.maxlen is less than need. This a bit bigger, shall we? So let's free ss.maxlen create another buffer, ss.maxlen 0 ss.string. There's no, oops, no string, sorry. So we want to actually set maxlen to 0 first. This should also be protected, but we'll do that. We can work that out later. It's not a big deal. It's just one of the many things that just needs to be sorted out. Okay, and then we allocate a new one, ss.string equals something malloc. What should we round it up to? round it up to a kilobyte. Yeah, round up to a kilobyte seems like a good idea. Oh. No. What can we do? Oh, just return text. There's only so much you can do when the memories run out, so that's all we'll do with that. Yeah. So now we need to go and copy the string. Ooh, that second loop is wrong, isn't it? That second loop should have an empty start. There we go. Yeah. We also need an output buffer. So we start out not in the Wimp symbol. I just noticed there's no semicolon there. Not in the symbol. P should start out at text. That's where it's coming from. Out should start at ss.string. There we go. That is a writable string at this point, because we're doing the writing. All right. Star p plus plus equals. No, wrong way around. Output equals. Ooh, that's not my new p. That's star p. That would turn up in my errors, I know, but. There we go. Right. If we're in Wimp symbol, star p plus plus equals font char change font. P plus plus equals. Ooh, we need to know what the Wimp symbol font is, don't we? Wimp symbol font. And for this one, it should be regular font. Which is not helpful because we haven't passed them in. Okay, and we need to define what that character is as well. define font char change font. I've forgotten what that number was. 26. And then we return ss.string. Oh, we also need to do start out plus plus a null at the end. So it's going to get us a little way there. I've got a question mark there, it means I've got something wrong. What have we got wrong? I think it's failed to pass something in this. Must have forgotten some semicolons or something. Something like that. Right, at the very least, I'm going to need stud bool, stud lib. I don't think we need anything else though at the moment. So let's try compiling that and see what we get. Oh, it wasn't. I haven't added it to the make file yet, have I? So that's not going to do anything. Oh, dot wimp symbol. Try again. Yeah, so there's a couple of those, and there's my bracket, semicolon missing at line 81. There. Oh, and I missed a bracket. Oh, I don't need a bracket there, do I? So 43 qualifier losing implicit cast. Ooh, yeah, because that could be a const char star because we're reading from it, and that probably fixes a bunch of them. Ooh, assignment to const object. Nah, it's not working. 77. Old string is const char star. Actually, in our buffer, it doesn't need to be a const. Still doesn't like that at 96. Oh, I'm writing to P. No, write out, not P. There we go, that's one of my bugs. Oh, also I've double incremented P there, because P's incremented up here. Actually, could I just do, it's incremented at once. Just do char C equals star P plus plus. That would be more sensible, wouldn't it? And we can, because there's no point in reading it multiple times. I would be relying on the compiler's understanding of aliasing in there otherwise, which I think it would probably do a great job of, but I wouldn't necessarily understand it. Right, that compiled and ran, so nothing to worry about there. So we now need to start using it. Only problem with using it is the fact we don't actually have the symbol font handle or the regular font handle, because we've got internal handles that are returned by the gcontext library, which is a bother. That's not a big deal. we will extend gcontext again, because yeah, I have to do that too many times. Problem with having an external library is that we end up having to update things all the time, which is a pity, but no matter. So we've got all of these text functions here. What I'm going to want is a way of converting from a font to a viscous handle. Yeah, all right. Should really document these functions as well. That's not a very nice way of doing it. So we'll need to do something with that later. Yeah. So yeah, I want a new function of it for this, which lives in here. Font rehandle. And the internal handle used by the that goes into our header file as well. In here. And we'll have a really very similar function that lives down here in the fallback side. And if we go back into font again, oops, no, I want to copy that. Copy that block into here, and then we're going to find the fallback code, which is down here. And it will look very, very similar. If we have a handle, might as well just return it. Handle. Otherwise, return 0 because we don't have a handle. Although, actually, what we can do here is to call the actual function so that were that to be replaced, we could still use it. Yeah, okay. And then copy all that. Copy to here. Read handle, not get handle. There it is. Semicolon on the end. Back into here. Return 0. There we go. Actual type int. Oh, I'll look at that later. And then if we have a look in G context, we need to assign this. So GC to text underscore read handle equals font read handle. U5 read handle. Font fallback read handle. Lots of repetition there, but see if this will work. Ooh. Non-value return in non-void function. 109. Correct. 0. Does that mean we've also got one in the other one up here? Probably does, doesn't it? Not that one. Not that one. Read handle. Oh, so I put a 0 in that one. So just to be completely safe, I'm going to clean this and start again, just in case anything didn't work. Okay, so that should have been exported now. And then over here, we can build it. And what we want to do is we want to have text render needs to know about Wimp symbol font. What did I call it? Wimp symbol. Should be font none, really. And then down here, we want to fetch the Wimp symbol font. That just reads the font. That sets the font. Font. Font to Wimp symbol equals trender to gcontext to text font find font Wimp symbols. Oh no, got that wrong. And we should use the same size as the standard font, I think. I think that makes sense. Like that. Yeah. Just check that that'll build. No. 159. Oh no, that should be T-render. Okay, so we've now got a Wimp symbols font. And we need to make that use when we are plotting text. So here we go. This is a text render paint call. So new text equals. Yeah, this is going to be somewhat fun. Wimp symbol dot clean. Is it converts? I've forgotten already. Convert bracket. Oh, sorry, I've already forgotten the names. Convert text symbol regular font. So text Wimp symbol font is going to be T-render. Oh dear, this is going to be tedious, isn't it? T-render to G-context to text read handle of T-render to font. Is that the way around? No, symbol font first. And then at the end of it, we want to do Wimp symbol _free new text. And we're going to need to do the same thing in here for string width. It can pass in a length as well. Right, we're going to ignore the length right now, but this is broken when it comes to handling the length. Convert, what's the free? New text. And that's all we have. That's going to fail because I haven't included the header file, I've just remembered. That's going to fail because I haven't even created the header file. So this is a little inefficient as we're going through this, but I don't think it's difficult for us to make it more efficient. Oh, also Wimp symbol should also include its own header, so we find it's not inconsistent with itself. Right. Implicit cast of points and equal wrong number of practice. I must have forgotten some parameter on something. 190. Oh, I know what that is. Yeah. 190. Yeah, I forgot to pass in trender G context. These should definitely be cached, so we're not re-obtaining them every time. But we can work on that. That's not going to be a big deal there, because it won't change between calls to set font. Right, now we need to do something that will actually make it show something interesting. So let's see what we can do. Hello world. Let's have a tick, shall we? 80. And maybe a 8B, Control L. Shift L, that is, sorry. That's the up arrow followed by an L. Let's see whether that works. I'm not expecting it to. It may just fail completely, but let's have a see. Oop, this is covering it over. Yeah, that didn't work, did it? Did not work at all. We got the wrong things there. So why did we get the wrong things? I think it's because we never pass in the new text. That's the set font, set colors, paint, new text. Still not working. Okay. We're not feeling terrible about it. We don't feel good about it. I wonder if it's not working because I've done something stupid in here. If we go into the Wimp symbol font, out of the Wimp symbol font. Okay then. Copy the debug bits. Dump them in here. Before that, there we go. And then in here, string needs Wimp symbol applying. Okay, up to star s, comma, text. And here, oh, there we go. Oh no, this is right, this is right. So we go, start from a regular string, where we switch to symbols. Oops, let's put it in D. This is where we switch regular again. Okay. As usual, low confidence because I'm just trying to get some debug out. Forgot to include printf. That's not terrible. We can do that. Include studio. Right. Well, that's interesting, isn't it? Why didn't it process it? Did I not call the right routine? This has definitely got debug in it. No conversion required. No conversion required. That doesn't seem right. Oops. My condition for terminating this loop was wrong. I was saying whilst we are a control character. Try that again, shall we? Right. Converting string, turn to symbols, stay in symbols. That's not a symbol character. It should have switched back. Should have gone back to regular. Because I never set a flag in here, do I? Oh. Yep. In Wimp symbol equals true, and here in Wimp symbol equals false, and we need to do the same thing back up here where we were flagging things. There we go. That was a bit dumb, but not a big deal. That looks better. Doesn't appear to have actually done anything here, but it does look better. And the reason it probably hasn't done anything correct there is because we've got the wrong settings on it. So I just need to find what the correct configuration is for the font system so that we use fallback fonts. So what we got? Kairos font config, no. Huh. Really? I thought it says no for the font config, which is surprising to me. I thought that would have been turned on. Wonder why that's not. we don't have a Wimp, so that isn't influencing Pyro. But stuff's definitely working. Wimp symbol. Is that not what I used as my name? It's an encoding. Oh, hang on. Is it a magic encoding that we use? I just need to have a look at that file, I think. I have a feeling it's a magic encoding. Wimp sim. There's the Wimp symbol. There is an RO codex one here as well. What's that? Which symbol font changes? That's used when we use the Wimp Viscos Wimp symbol encoding, which I didn't see mentioned anywhere. So how did that magic happen? Whoa, there's magic in here. I believe the encoding is actually set inside the Wimp symbol font itself, which is where this is actually doing it in Viscos Font Manager. Wimp sim is a symbol, and oh. It's suggesting it just maps over to those. Is there something dim I've done here? Like giving it the wrong name. Yeah. Well, that seems to kind of work. One of them's come out with a square, but the other one has come up with a shift. And that was meant to be a tick. It was meant to turn into, but it didn't. So, not the end of the world. Little odd, but not the end of the world. What I can do though is we'll go looking here. If we replace some of these, so let's actually have a number of arrows. So let's have all of them. Let's have all of them, yes. So 80, 81, 81, 81, come on, 82, 84, 85. There's a skip of 86, but then there's 88 is the next one. 89, 8A, 8B, and then 8B, sorry, and then 98 is iconize. All right. And this is those are the symbols. Okay. So the arrows worked, but nothing else. I thought they were working. I thought I'd got them working. So regardless, some of that is working, some of it's not. Fair enough, we can worry on that later. But we have the basics of that conversion working. That's took a long time, and I'm not sure it's particularly well done, but we've at least got the translations happening. So for now, I think I'm going to call that okay. It's not brilliant, it's not good. Make a note in here. Add a length parameter to say we need to do that because that's not present at the moment. It is important. But other than that, I think we're good. All right, commit that. What have we done? Oh yeah, we need to add git state and add the files, don't we? C/wimp symbol and h/wimp symbol. Font handling of the Wimp symbols now works. At least it works for the font manager. The Wimp symbols font is applied to the text that has been passed, but we don't yet handle the length parameter. And this is performed for all the fonts, not just the including the system font. All right, we'll push that and we will come back to it again next week. I hope it's been interesting. I realise it's been something of a bit of a drag this week, but yeah, seems to have at least we've moved on a little bit with it. Just before we go, I'll give a very quick check and see whether this is actually going to do anything in my font system. So the fonts here, if I go and enable language server, nope, language server's just stopped working. I'm not sure what I've done there. I will need to investigate. No matter. It does work, honest. It did. All right. See you all next week. Hope you have a good end of the weekend and week. Next week we'll have a look at addressing some of the issues with system font and how the things are handled. But for now, I think we've got at least something that's vaguely working. All right. See you later. Bye.